Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's 11 o'clock in the morning here in the UK. Yeah, let's allow a couple of minutes for those that actually join us. But meanwhile, could anyone on the question panel please tell me if my screen, you can see my screen and you can hear me properly? And let's give a couple of minutes to those a bit late. Okay. Assuming you can guys hear me, right? And you can see my screen. Yep, all good. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. Welcome everyone. My name is Ricardo, and I'm the country manager of this company here called Technorizon UK. First thing first, who we are. We are a value-added distributor called Technorizon UK. We are part of a big group called Technorizon Group with offices in Spain, in Portugal, in Dubai, in India, and most recently in Singapore. And we want to be your cybersecurity partners, right? So we bring value to the UK. We bring products and services, cutting edge products and services of cybersecurity and just cybersecurity to the UK. All right, and our model strategy is, as you can see here, we came with this alliances. We add value, and our values are mainly first grade of support, demos, WebEx like this one for your customers, prices and financing. And by financing, that means we can work out if for instance your customer pays you in 60 days, we can work out financial speaking how can we go ahead and make business with you. And we always will be by your side. That means if the vendor comes with a nice proposal, and by anyhow your customer is out of budget, we will figure out something to get it done, and always by your side. That is the main idea. So we got so far in the group, we have a lot of alliances, but I will put only these 5 ones here in the UK: Bayshore, Proton, Secrets, NEVERFAIL, and Termine. And today we will be presenting NEVERFAIL by how critical assets are important on your company, or on your customer's company, right? So let's first define what are those critical assets, right? Based on the National Cybersecurity Center, everyone probably now knows about who these guys are. They define that as the crown jewels, right? So your crown jewels, as I said, is the most value to your organization. They could be value because simply you can function without them. That is the most important part, right? So for instance, data, all right, your industrial control systems for your industrial manufacturer or factory. Yeah, if that things go out, boom, you're losing money, right? Or if you cannot quote, then not good. If you cannot access to the data, not good, right? So let's start by defining exactly what are my critical assets. And we can assume in everyone got a lot of critical assets, right? And we will define later on a little bit of what how it looks like in a modern company these days, where it resides the data or that assets and how we can maintain them uptime, right? So how do we protect them, right? Because we can always have a backup. That is the worst or, or the oldest trick on the book, to have a backup, right? But how long it will take me to recover from a crisis, to recover from an attack, right? So here also the National Cybersecurity Center recommend us the role of cybersecurity should be support and enable the business. And the important key part is here, support and enable the business, right? By managing its risk without blocking its essential activities. This is the key thing that any cybersecurity guy in the world should have this in consideration, right? So how do we protect them? I will suggest to have some sort of solution like this one from continuing engine from NEVERFAIL. So to present NEVERFAIL, we need to know who they are. All right. So they got global presence. They are not new. They are 20 plus years, roughly like us. We are 25 plus years. And actually, if you have heard about Honeywell, for instance, you should have heard about Honeywell. Well, Honeywell or Cisco or even VMware, all right, underneath their data recovery, they uses somehow techniques that NEVERFAIL, all right, create for them. So it's so old technology, right? That there's proven that even big pieces like Cisco or like VMware or Honeywell, they are using underneath by those guys. They are that good that they were creating these OMs, right, for them. So the proposition here is to have a near to zero user downtime. The idea here is to create something that allows us to forget about the downtime, right? So for instance, who uses this thing? Well, you probably, if you're probably in the UK, that you are, obviously you probably are, you probably heard about Nando's. We love Nando's. Everyone loves Nando's, right? Well, Nando's here in the UK uses this technology to have their websites and all the quoting and all the systems up and running 24/7 if they need 24/7, right? They probably don't need 24/7, but the main important part is, while the business should be up and running, it should be up and running. There's no time to relax in terms of, now, yeah, we can have like 30 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours sometimes. Yes, that's no big deal. Well, in case of, for instance, Nando's, that's a big deal, because if they are not having uh, um, orders, they will start losing money, right? So if you're trying to go to Nando's website and Nando's website doesn't work, you probably go and end up going Kentucky Fried Chicken, right? And that's not good for them, right? So they know that they need these kind of things. So yeah, we are distribution partners, you see in the middleware. And then we have selected partners and obviously those integrated ecosystem that I mentioned about Honeywell or Cisco or VMware or even Ipswich. You guys probably know about Ipswich. They now called Progress. They also have an OM of NEVERFAIL, right? So let's start by a retrospective view about how the evolution of business continuity started, right? So the first layer, it was, and it is, right, or the bottom down layer is the backup and restore, right? So we are a block or file based backup that we can have an offsite copy or on-site copy of the data, right? Is the most important part in terms of long-term retain. Yes, it is, all right. But it's also super difficult to recover something from that in no time. You need probably a lot of time to recover from that, right? The next layer, it could be this data replication. That is a snapshot. That is what we call in CPD a replication of data in another CPD. Yeah, that's a data focus replication. Like for instance, VMware. What they do, VMware, they do this kind of data replication, or a Sun, right? Or a Sun network. They also do that kind of thing. The next one is a basic failover. That is, for instance, a write. You probably guys heard about RAID, all right? RAID 0, RAID 0 plus 1, or RAID 5 is a hardware redundancy. That means I will need two pieces of hardware to maintain and have a physical failover from one server or from one system to another, right? It could be also virtual. VMware also provides this kind of thing, right? But the top of the tops of the mountain is this kind of continuous availability. This is business focus, and it contains everything that you can see from that top layer to bottom down, right? It will contain, or it should contain the hardware focus for basic failover, for this fault tolerance. It also need to have this data replication, that it should have replicated probably offsite this data in another part, and it should be continuous, right? And obviously it should have this backup in other side that you need to have, right? So it should contain all of these things, and this is the master thing. This is the top reason about business continuity, right? And actually the recovery trying approach is the other way around. So the more top on that mountain, all right, the less time, or the less minutes or seconds I need to recover, or I should recover, right? Because for instance, in that tier 0, we call it that tier 0, the top of the company, is where the mission is critical. So for instance, the 111 in the UK, sorry, in the US, it used to never fail underneath, because their mission is critical. They cannot afford less than or more than 60 seconds downtime. They cannot. So they need this kind of technology, right? So the time for recovery will be seconds, all right? Maybe few minutes, but only few minutes. Like, yeah, maybe it's my connection. The moment I realize it's not your connection and it's the server itself, then it's back online. That's the best thing, right? Then we have this tier 1, where the business is also critical, but is not as critical as the other one. And the way to measure that is on how long you take to recover. And this is from 60 minutes, it's based on 60 minutes to 4 hours, all right? That is a fault tolerance on the hardware, so we can go ahead and swap from one hypervisor to another one, or from one CPD to another one, and that could be take good 60 minutes for that, right? Then we have tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4. Those ones, all right, the more the tier, the more bigger the tier, the more hours I need to restore. Obviously, the tier 4, for instance, is these long-term backups. This is the one that when one of your customer came, you know what, I need to recover something. I don't find a folder that I used to have in this data repository, and I don't know, long time I not seen. Okay, try to think, when was the last time you saw it? Oh, few months ago. So few months ago is probably in the long-term backup, and when we should have this long-term backup, right? So the idea of NEVERFAIL, right, is to analyze the ecosystem of what could happen and where it could happen, right? Because all these days, and moreover with this pandemic situation, everything is data centric. So everything is based on where the data is and how the user connects to that data. That's why we are relying on a lot of clouds, right? So if our application is cloud based, okay, then or hardware is not that important, and our operating system is even not that important, and obviously the network is not important, but it's also important, right? But at the same time, it's a combination, as I mentioned, of many things, right? So the data, it should be, it is obviously on top of an application. And if the user wants to access to that data, it should be supported by the operating system where that data resides, and the application that the user is using, and obviously the hardware and the network that user is using at that moment, right? So it's a combination of everything, and that is quite challenging, obviously, these days, to be sure that you have everything covered, right? So the idea of NEVERFAIL is to monitor everything. It will monitor the user, it will monitor where the data is, it will monitor the hardware, it will monitor the operating system by, for instance, dispatch management, right? Just to keep your users working. That is the main goal, right? So it can clone the server architecture, as you can see. It will replicate all the ecosystem that you already got to replicate in another site, for instance, to have a non-time up and running, all right? Zero distance limitations, as mentioned, you can have different CPTs all over the world or all over the clouds, right? And you can share from one to another and swap from one to another with no time and no loss for the user, right? So how NEVERFAIL do that? Because it's super obviously difficult. Well, it's simple for them. We just need to define what type of devices, applications, and where they're based, etc., etc. And this is software, so it could be deployed software based anywhere, all right? And it could be, as you can see, this one for that data recovery in even your LAN, in your local area network, and it will be. I will be aware of the application. It will be agnostic on that hardware, if it's physical, if it's virtual, or whatever, and it will keep that NEVERFAIL connection between those servers up and running. The other day, someone asked me about, okay, how about licensing? Because one of the servers could have a Windows Server license and the other one should have another Windows Server license. Well, the answer is probably is not, because it will share always also the same license of Windows. Oh, wow, I can do that? Yes, we can. All right. This is the kind of things. Then we have this one smart thing. This one smart thing is kind of a new thing in terms of cutting edge thing, that you can have the same server but in another location, right? This is especially good for this geocentric businesses that get got, for instance, like us, that we have offices in Spain and here in the UK. We can have our UK data center replicated to our headquarters in Spain data center, and vice versa. So when UK goes down, no problem, we can pull data from headquarters in Spain, and the other way around, same thing, right? So we can even have this kind of mixture things about virtual machines, hardware, anywhere with no time, and the user will have the same feeling. Even the IP will not even change, right? That will be handled by NEVERFAIL. Okay. So, and the benefits, it's application awareness. So it will know what application you are running. It will also network protection, because it will monitor all your assets are up and running. All right. It will be protecting all your data in any site. All right. And it will work with VMware. So actually, many of you guys now probably asking, okay, why not using VMware then? Because if VMware is using that, why not using just VMware? Okay, VMware is only monitoring the VMware part, but as we mentioned, we need we need to monitor more things that only the VMware part, right? We need to monitor these users. We need to monitor that application itself. We need to monitor the network protection itself. And we need to replicate this between sites, right? Makes that any sense? All right, cool. That is what I was intention to present you today. Now it's time for some questions. If you have any, I will give 3 to 5 minutes, or even less, 3 minutes then, because we are running out of time for questions, and we will be back in a minute. Okay. Okay, cool. One of the first question is about the technical part, how it works itself. Let me pull. The intention was not to go super techy, but let me try to find out. Okay, I believe is this slide. Yeah, this is the slide. So this is how the architecture works in terms of never fail, how it works, right? So it doesn't matter if it's physically, doesn't matter if it's virtual, the server, or where the asset it is, if it's in the LAN or in the one, right? We know that we have an operating system, and we know that we have on that operating system, we have apps, right? So what we need to have, right, is the NEVERFAIL application installed on that same server. So the moment that we have that NEVERFAIL application engine on the primary server, is simple, right, to have and connect to the secondary one, and it creates a NEVERFAIL channel, as you can see there, right? The moment that we have this cluster up and running is the moment that we are start to check if everything is up and running, and start monitoring if all the apps, if all the operating system, if all the network, if all the connection itself are up and running. And then the moment that it goes fail by any chance, right? So for instance, it will see the secondary or the primary one is not working good. Then okay, we can swap. Okay, we can say, okay, don't worry, because we have this business continuity engine with this never fail channel, or through this never fail channel. Well, we can forget about where it resides, where was the fault itself, and we still have our business up and running. Simple as that, right? Thanks to this never fail channel. All right. Hope this thing makes sense. And obviously, yeah, when the problem is solved, we can revert back. We can say, okay, you know what? The primary, or the first, or the main CPD, the main data is stored, or it's handled by the headquarters in Spain. And the moment that Spain is back up and running, okay, cool, we can revert it back. Simple as that, right? Or not. Even we know, guys, we know businesses that they use this never fail channel for patching. Yeah, so it's like, okay, we need to a window of 3 hours for patching or systems in Singapore. Cool. So the moment that we need this window of 3 hours, all the connections coming from Singapore to that CPD will be diverted to India team. So all the Singapore guys will go and grab data from the same data, but from Singapore. Sorry, from India instead of Singapore, because Singapore is in a window of maintenance, right? Simple as that. I hope I answered your question. Any other question? Let me check it. No, this is a question about licensing the product itself. Well, it literally depends on your scenario. If you are going to have just an HA that is local in LAN, or you need this one engine replication between 2 sites or 3 sites, all right, it literally depends how big is the project, or how big is or where your data, where your assets are, and how you wanna your strategy, how you wanna recover from that. Okay. Any other questions? Cool. So the idea, thank you everyone. The idea was to have 20 to 25 minutes, quick quick demo, sorry, quick introduction about any of our vendors. And today we have done NEVERFAIL. If you guys have any other question, just pop an email here to cyberinquiries@technorizingroup.com or call us. We used to be in level 39 of with this pandemic thing. We are everyone working from home. So but still we have the same lack to be here and to attend all the calls that you might have. All right. In 2 weeks time we will have a wrap up of the year. So the next WebEx in 2 weeks time will be about what we will expect on the 2021 cybersecurity related. Let's see if the vaccine, etc., but that's not the point. Yeah, thank you very much for coming, everyone, and have a good day. Bye bye.